y'all. Listen, y'all. We are back. We are back. But you know what? We are back as WCWPodcast SHOW. Y'all, we giving you the real. We giving you the live, the up close, the close-enough, the personal, and up close. A little tongue twister for y'all, because what is Saturday? We on quarantine, y'all. So we came up with a show. The podcast show, guys. WCW Podcast is now live in your face here on the WCW Podcast Show, guys. And listen, guys, this is our very, very, very first video. And listen, every hour is happy hour on the WCW Podcast Show. So, ladies, I hope you got your glasses. Sit with me. Toast with me. Today is going down because I have a guest. Yes, I have a guest right here on the show today, y'all. I want to bring to y'all, listen, I have a lot of love for this person, but I am going to bring him to the show because on the WCW Podcast Show, we are bringing you nothing but dopeness, okay? Now, y'all heard the audio, but now y'all get to see me in action, okay? And I'm bringing y'all some hot guests. So first up on the show, y'all, I want y'all to welcome to WCW Podcast Show, Mr. C23. Give it up, y'all. Whoa. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show, y'all. This is C23. How you doing?
Good. Blessed.
All right, y'all. Listen, we are on quarantine and we are staying safe. And right now, y'all, we're social distancing from y'all, okay? But I want you to tell our listeners and our guests who are listening and watching us today on our very, very first WCW Podcast Show a little bit about C23. Because I told them every guest is dope. Let us know why you dope. A little bit about your background, where you're from, and how you came up with the name C23.
Okay, first of all, thank you again for having me on the show. Shout out to Selfmade V.
Shout out, man.
Shout out to WCW Podcast. Shout out to the audience. You know what I'm saying? So, C3 going to be blockbuster.
Absolutely.
I'm from Brooklyn, born and raised, Bed-Stuy, do or die, Brownsville, never ran, never will. You know what I'm saying? Second generation Jolly Stomper, first division, St. James, between Fulton and Gates, is the block I was born and raised on. Rest in peace, Biggie.
Absolutely. Listen, I raise my glass to that. Shout out to Biggie. And shout out to Brooklyn.
No doubt. That's 226 St. James. That's a story for another day, but rest in peace, Big. Shout out to D-Most, the host, 5-star Most.
Hold up. I got to stop you right there. I know you said this is a story for another day. But I want them to know your connection to Brooklyn and your connection to Biggie. So can we rewind it back a little bit and let's talk about this 226 St. James Place. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, 226 St. James Place is a building, apartment building. I lived in apartment 2L. He lived in apartment 3L. His bedroom was above mine for most of that time. So we saw each other pretty much every day from the time we were kids. Say 1983 is when we moved into that building. Before that, we lived in 218 St. James Place, which was 3 doors down. So I was always on the block. And even after I left the block for about 5 years, moved to Lafayette Gardens Projects, my grandma still was on the block, my grandfather, so I was always around. We all knew Big as Chris, so that's why I still look at him as Chris. You know what I mean? That's Big Chris. He was Chris, and he got Big in the rest of us. He was Big Chris. You know what I mean? Then he became Big E. You know, for his musical career, but he was a good dude. he was becoming a man. You know, he was learning a lot of things, and really, he would have been one of those black billionaires right now.
Shout out to all the black billionaires that are holding it down right now on quarantine in your big, luscious houses or on your private island. Shout out to y'all. But I wanted to bring up that connection with Brooklyn that you have, because right now you're here in Tampa, Florida. So you've lived a couple places. Let's touch base on some of the places you touched down.
Well, I got to give a shout out. I left Brooklyn in 92, 17 years old. Give a shout out to the 614 Columbus, Ohio. Where I met this lovely lady right here a long time ago. You know what I mean? And Buckeye City, Buckeye State, you know what I'm saying? Got a lot of love.
Absolutely.
You know, I got out there kind of at the beginning of the hip hop scene out there, and had a chance, you know, collaborate with, work with, and kind of be a bigger brother, you know what I'm saying, to a lot of the MCs out there, a lot of the artists out there. You know, one time or another, you know, I came across paths. And so I got a lot of love for Columbus. Both my kids are born out there, still got family out there, so, you know, it's different. You know, when you leave New York, you're born and raised there, you think everywhere is like New York, but, you know, it's not. So you gotta adapt and learn, you know, different, you know, it's a different game, different slight different set of rules everywhere you go. You know, the main codes of the street, the main codes of just, you know what I'm saying, you know, behavior are still intact wherever you go, but you know, everywhere they got their own little I guess say traits, or they got their own little individualities to that region or whatever. So, but I learned something from everywhere I went. Also, you know, I went out to I was in the Army, went out to Oklahoma. Shout out to Fort Sill, Lawton, Oklahoma, OKC. Met a lot of good brothers, a lot of good people out there. You know what I mean? A lot of hip hop MCs out there. You know, I used to have my garage, little studio in the garage. You know, we used to have ciphers in the garage. You know what I'm saying? I did the same thing in Ohio too. I had my first crib out there, and my second bedroom was a studio. I had 700 tapes in my collection, you know what I'm saying, hip hop, like original tapes. Slick Rick, you know, Big Daddy King and everything, you know, EPMD, you know what I'm saying, Redman. You know, it's in the 90s, like 94, 96. And we making beats on that same little Casio that Terrence Howard had in Hustle and Flow. That same little Casio.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Had little samples on it and everything.
Drum beats
on it. Had a drum machine, hooked it up to the karaoke. So, been doing this hip hop for a minute.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's a culture, you know, hip hop is something that you live, rap is something that you do. You know what I'm saying? Some people just doing it for money, just trying to get some money out of it. And some people really got love for it. You know what I'm saying? It's different. So, that's all we trying to push. Me, D-Most. You know, he grew up on the block. I known him his whole life. You know what I mean? His grandma, my grandma's best friends. Rest in peace to both of them, Miss Virginia, Miss Pickett. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knew them on the block. You know what I'm saying? Big carried my grandma bags. You know what I'm saying? He used to work at Met Foods around the corner of 4th Street. So, I mean, vice versa. I see his mom, you know, she got bags. I carry his mom bags.
Right.
You know, we was all on the block. We was all the family, you know what I mean? On the block in the neighborhood. That's why you still see people have that love for Chris, for Big, you know what I'm saying, to this day. You know,
to this day.
Love, you know what I'm saying? For all of them. You know, because it's real people, you know?
Yes.
Of course, I didn't see all of that pop off till I went to Ohio, so I kind of saw from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
As far as everything unfolding. You know, when I left, they were still on the corner doing what they did.
Right.
I mean, that's real right there. So, it's life lessons and everything, you know. Just because you didn't take this path that the next man took, or the next person took, You know, a lot of people, they look at the past and the position that other people are in, and they feel, you know, bad about where they at. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have love for yourself, and love for what you've done in life, and love for, you know what I'm saying, your existence, love for your potential. You know what I mean? Do you.
Right.
You know what I mean? That was always the rule back in the day.
The Brooklyn way. And speaking of the Brooklyn way, this guy, like he said, has been from Brooklyn to Ohio to Oklahoma, now here in Florida, and everywhere he's touched down, he has spread love the Brooklyn way. And we appreciate you for remaining true to yourself. And speaking of being true to yourself, you have a lot of projects under your hat right now. Let's talk about Black Neo Radio. Wait, because we asked a question that you didn't touch on.
Oh.
How did you come up with the name C23? Where did that come from?
We backed that up. First of all, shout out to 813. But as far as C23, you know, back when I was a kid, you know, a rap name is something that you put a lot of thought into. Most people do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want something that everybody else had. Back when I was growing up, it was like you had a cat called 9 Double M. You know, everybody had gun names. You know what I'm saying? But I looked up. That made me look up the word caliber. You know, in the dictionary, I looked at the word caliber, right? You know, and it got the meaning they had to do with the measurement of the shell and all of that. But it had another meaning to it, and that was capacity of mind.
Look in the camera and say that again.
Had caliber means capacity of mind.
Capacity of mind. Continue.
You know what I mean? Like, what can your mind, you know, the caliber of person, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you might have heard that saying before. So I took that in 23. I'm born on February 23rd, so that right there, plus that's my number. In sports and basketball, that was my favorite baseball player number, Don Mattingly for the Yankees back in the 80s. That's my cousin Michael Jordan. That's his number, 23. So that's just a natural right there. So Cal 23.
Listen, pause. Pause. You guys are going to see me do these frequent pauses. When I hear something that I need to speak on, I stop and we pause and we run it back. Okay? You said Michael Jordan is your cousin. Let's elaborate on that a little bit. Can you tell me how you guys are related?
That's my fourth cousin. My mom, her mom, is Clara Pickett. His first cousins with Michael Jordan's father. So that makes me his fourth cousin.
So the bloodline runs deep here, guys. We have a 23 on the jersey of Michael Jordan, and we have 23 on C23 caliber, capacity of mind, 2-3, born February 23rd. That's a lot, you know what I'm saying? And so you put that all together, and now you're running with C23. Now let's talk about all the things that C23 has up under his umbrella. What kind of projects do you currently have?
Well, I try to, I love doing a lot of different things. So, you know, Black Neo Radio, that's just a way for me to, I guess, shine a spotlight on brands and artists and music that I like, you know what I'm saying, that I think is hot, that I think that people need to hear. And that's, you know, that's really what that is. So it's sometimes I just put singles on there. Sometimes I put singles. I try to put the singles on the people that I interview, try to put their music attached to the interview so the listener can hear all of it, you know what I'm saying, get a picture of the type of artist this person is. Sometimes I just release singles myself through Black Neo Radio. Sometimes I just make mixes, you know, like an hour-long mix of music to put it on there of local artists or underground artists that you might not have heard of, you know, just, you know what I'm saying, that like I said, once again, I think are dope. So that's what Black Neo Radio is. I'm learning, you know what I'm saying? I worked with you, you know, on WCWPodcast in the past. I worked with D-Most, you know, on the Elevator podcast. So that also, that experience has helped me a lot too.
Right. Yeah.
As far as what I want to do, what I don't want to do, as far as the podcast, the type of questions, and as far as the guests and all of that. So it's all a learning process, you know. Especially during this quarantine time, I suggest everybody, you know what I'm saying?
Get you a quarantine boo. I'm sorry. That was a pause, guys. Go ahead. During quarantine time.
It's my boo long time for quarantine. You know. But figure out where you are in life, and figure out where you're trying to go after this quarantine, this shutdown is over with, because, you know, my heart goes out to everybody that lost their jobs, to everybody that had setback due to this, that's not able to do, you know, maximize their earning potential like they were doing before that, or like they're trying to do. You know, people can't even go look for jobs right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I know it's a stimulus check coming and everything, but at the same time, people still took big hits.
Yeah.
You know, and they're gonna have to rebuild. A lot of people have to rebuild a lot of things. So, I mean, just figure out, understand that these jobs, you know, stuff like this can happen. Yeah. So you gotta have something that you love to do, something that you have on the side.
Side hustle.
You know what I mean? That you can put your energy into.
Right.
You know, and still bring some income in.
Absolutely.
Put yourself in a position to get more income. So, I mean, really, and also, you know, when you do something that you love, it's a release.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's therapeutic to a lot of people, and it keep a lot of people out of trouble.
Yeah. Honest. Absolutely.
A lot of people rapping could be doing a lot of other stuff.
Yeah. And speaking of, you know, people who have chosen wrong paths in life, you have a guy that you call your brother. And you two now have linked back up together, and you're doing all these things. Demos, the host. I've heard you say his name a couple times during the interview. Can you give our listeners who may not know him a little bit of information as to what kind of things that you guys are doing and partnering and giving back to the communities, and how you guys are just doing your thing together?
Okay. Demos, the host, for those that don't know, go look on Instagram at 5star5, the number 5, STAR underscore. I always have trouble with that. Underscore M.O.S.T. And that is the host of the Elevator podcast. Like I said, that's my brother from another mother. You know, I known him his whole life. He's about 3 years younger than me, so do the math. You know, if anyone's day one, that's that. That's who that is. But, you know, over the years before, Instagram, Facebook, all that, social media, we used to write our numbers on in a notebook or whatever.
Yes.
People had landlines, you know what I'm saying? So you lose contact. Like, I'm out of town, so you lose contact with people. I lost contact with a lot of good people. Shout out Black Hitler if you out there.
We will find you.
Link up. We're looking for you.
We looking.
That's my other people right there. But me and Mose, we didn't see each other or talk to each other for years. And link back up about 2013. And, you know what I'm saying? That's my little bro right there. You know what I mean? That's my bro right there. So it's on the popping. And we both, you know, he stayed in New York when I left New York. So he saw Tupac come on the block. He saw Jay-Z. He saw Puffy. He saw Buster. He saw Craig Mack. He saw all the artists come on St. James Place when Big was alive. And since Big has passed, you know what I'm saying, rest in peace, he's seen everybody that's come to 226, pay their respects, take pictures. Even when I was out there, we were doing this show, another camera crew pull up, you know what I'm saying, doing a show, you know what I mean? So
226 is kind of a tourist attraction right now.
Yeah, you know, and the people that live in the building, they understand that, like like I tell the people like, yo, I used to live right there. That's where I grew up at. You know, and they understand because you live in that building on that block, you don't know where that is. That's on you.
It's a Brooklyn thing.
It's
I have no clue where 226 St. James Place is. But you guys go on the stoop and you have some awards that you give out. Can we talk about the awards and the projects that you guys do together?
Okay, you know, well, let's give a little history. The movement really started. Shout out to Chupavi's radio station. 16, you know what I'm saying? That's someone else that we grew up with. He had a studio radio station in the basement. It's at I think that's 220 St. James, like 2 doors down from 226. And he has a radio station down there. You know, back in the day, it was like they had DJ equipment set up down there. We used to have ciphers. You know what I mean? You don't know what a cipher is, as you know, people, MCs rapping, freestyle, or they got a verse, you know what I'm saying, that they can spit or whatever, but that was down in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
When I came back at the radio station, so, you know, he was working with them, you know what I mean? I told him, I was like, yo, you know everybody, you know what I mean? Like, it's a natural for you. That's a no-brainer right there.
Right.
I mean, and he took that and he ran with that and he built that up to, you know, everything it is. You know, he had total YouTube, Facebook, IG, Spotify, Anchor, everything. He had like 100,000. You know what I mean? Or more than that. You know what I mean? Like, he know the numbers. You know what I mean? But he making an impact. And it's all organic, you know what I mean? It's like doing something you love, you're not forcing it. You know what I mean? So we do these interviews with people, you know what I'm saying? Selfmade V does interviews, you know, we do this because we love talking to the people, we love talking to the guests, we love hearing about what they doing, you know what I mean?
So you guys are both the brains behind this project, and it sounds like you are all ill thinkers. So let's talk about this ill thinker. Can we show the viewers what the ill thinker award looks like? Because you are you received one, correct?
Yes, ma'am. I received one last year, 2019. And I appreciate it because I say a lot of stuff I do, you know, I don't need the spotlight. You know what I mean? I love helping people out. I love seeing people, you know what I'm saying, realize, you know, and love what they do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I appreciate the award because, like I said, everybody has a part to play. You know, a lot of people don't want to play their position and they jump the gun and they don't learn what they could have learned from the person they with. Or they don't play their position on the team to help the team succeed, and then everything they wanted or everything they want to do, they would be able to do anyway. You know, as part of part of a greater glory. You know,
it kind of that kind of reminds me. We've been watching the Wu-Tang series, and the Wu-Tang started off as a group. They started off as a group and they vowed that they were going to never break up. And then, unfortunately, as they grew and got bigger, they kind of grew apart. They went solo and did their own projects. But even out of their own mouths, it had to do with business and separating friendship from business. First of all, wait, pause, y'all. Another pause on WCW podcast. Can we show everybody the Ill Thinker Award? We're gonna take a pause, guys, so you can see the award first, okay? Because that's gonna wow you. Okay, so hold this up for us. This is the Ill Thinker Award. You might want to get up and take it a little closer. Be careful to this. I want them to see that, guys. This is the Ill Thinker Award, okay? And come on back, C23, because I got to ask you some questions about this Ill Thinker Award. Because I want my watch. Because now y'all, I got your eyes. I got you. You're watching. You want to know, how do you get one of these? Can you tell them how can they come across being a receiver of an Ill Thinker Award?
Okay. As far as the criteria, basically that you dope. That's the first criteria. You know what I'm saying? That you believe in what you're doing. That you pushing your brand, and like I said, it's a lot of people that are incredible artists, that are incredible entrepreneurs, that that are doing things in all different walks of life, and people don't see what they're doing. So we try to recognize that and support who supports you also. You know what I'm saying? It's a mutual thing, and it's a mutual respect that we have with all the award winners. And really, it's each one teach one. I know all this sounds like cliches, but especially at this time, and it should be any time, we got to help each other out. We got to network. A lot of people have had doors closed in their face, or people have not listened to what they had to say, and you got to build new doors and find new ways to say things.
Yeah.
Find new avenues and create new options.
Good one. Good one.
I mean?
So can you tell us a little bit about who's already received one of these anyone that we may know that's already been a receiver of the Ill Thinker Award that you can shout out right now?
I say it's a long list at this point. Some people that you may know.
Shout out to Mayno.
Shout out to Tiana. That's Big's daughter. She received one.
Shout out Tiana. Ill Thinker Award receiver.
Shout out to Little C's.
Little C's, an Ill Thinker Award receiver.
Shout out to D-Dubs.
D-Dubs.
G Mafia. Shout out to Babs.
Babs, if y'all don't remember, Babs from...
Y'all remember Making the Band?
Making the Band. Ill Thinker Award receiver.
Shout out to Chips, 50/50 Chips. Y'all may not have heard of him. Shout out to, it's a whole long list. Billions. Shout out to Dimes. Shout out to Mike Cherry. He's getting one. It's a lot of people that they haven't got it yet. But, incredible creators that they're gonna get one. You know what I mean? And it's an organic thing.
A movement.
The Grammys don't always recognize. People need recognition, and so that's what we're trying to do. And like I said, you got to create new avenues and new platforms.
New platforms.
You got to create new platforms to showcase talent. You got to create, new audiences. You know what I'm saying, for your content. And that's what it is in 2020.
2020.
That's what it is during this quarantine. You see people doing stuff they never thought about doing before, because they digging deep and they finding a way to flip it.
Pause. I heard a word that I like. Flip it. We're gonna flip it real quick, y'all. We're gonna play a little game with C23 real quick. This game is Tell Me What You Know. Okay, hold my mic for me, C23. I gotta get a prop. Okay. Bleeding. This is my lucky dice, okay? We're going to use this lucky dice. We're going to let C23 roll it. I'm going to catch it. Whatever number it lands on, we're going to learn a little bit about C23 and ask him some questions. All right, y'all. Let's let him roll the dice. There you go, sir. Woo! Big spender. 6. Y'all see it? 6. He got a 6. Okay, C23. Give me one of your top 6 favorite all-time NBA 3-point shooters.
3-point shooters. Okay. I gotta say Steph Curry. I gotta say Larry Bird. You know, I'm a Knicks fan. You know, you got real recognized real. You gotta respect that. You know what I'm saying? Another one, Reggie Miller. Gotta respect game. Ray Allen. And for that last one, John Starks. I'm a Knicks fan. That's 5.
That's 5, bro. We need one more.
One more. Who else?
3-point shooters, y'all. NBA. Top 6.
Klay Thompson.
Klay Thompson.
So both the Splash Brothers in there. They nice what they do.
The brothers made the list. All right, we got one more.
Okay.
All right, roll the dice, C23. One more.
Play CeeLo with this.
5, guys. Y'all see it? 5. All right? Okay. So, C23, we need to know right now your top 5 MC